When your cat walks across you in the middle of the night, do you actually know what they're trying to tell you? It might seem random, irritating, or just part of their after-dark routine. But behind that behavior, there's something deeper that most owners completely overlook. It's one of the clearest signals your cat can send when the rest of the house goes still. And if you respond the wrong way, which most people do, you could be sending entirely the wrong message back. Let's begin with why they choose that exact moment in the first place. 1. They're checking if you're still alive. Why does your cat always seem to step directly onto your chest, your throat, or your face? Out of everywhere they could walk, why those spots? Because those are the precise areas where your breathing is most detectable. Your cat isn't just wandering around without purpose. They're running a survival check on you. In the wild, sleeping beside another animal that goes completely still is a serious warning sign. So when your cat places a paw on your chest and feels it rise, or passes close to your face and picks up the warmth of your breath, they're confirming one thing: you're still there. And there's a reason this happens at night and almost never during the day. When the lights go out, they lose the visual signals they normally depend on. You're no longer moving around, you're not talking, you're not reacting to anything. To them, you've basically gone dark, so they come to check. But here's the part that might genuinely surprise you. There's a far deeper reason your cat keeps picking you as their landing spot at 3 a.m., and it goes all the way back to when they were just a kitten. I'll save that one for last because honestly, it changes how you see every single one of those nighttime visits. 2. They're secretly marking you as theirs. Ever wonder why your cat doesn't simply curl up beside you at night? Why do they have to physically walk across your body like you're some kind of footpath? Here's what's actually going on. Your cat has scent glands located in the pads of their paws. Every single step they take across your skin, your clothes, your blanket, they're leaving behind a chemical signature that's completely invisible to you, but practically shouts ownership to every other animal in the house. And this isn't random affection. This is biology doing exactly what it's designed to do. Think about it this way. During the day, you shower, you head outside, you come into contact with other things, other people, maybe even other animals. By the time you climb into bed, whatever scent your cat left the night before has essentially been wiped clean. So every night, they reset it. They walk across you, press their paws into you, and silently declare, "This one is mine," all over again. Researchers at the University of Lincoln found that cats living in multi-pet households do this significantly more often than cats in single-pet homes, because when there's competition, marking becomes a priority. So the next time your cat paces across your chest at 2 a.m., just know they're not being difficult. They're renewing the claim. And hey, if your cat just earned a little more respect for tonight, go ahead and hit like and subscribe so we can reach more owners who have no idea what their cat is doing for them in the dark. 3. They heard something you completely missed. Have you ever been in a deep sleep and suddenly your cat just plants themselves on your chest out of nowhere? No warning, no lead up, just paws on you and wide eyes fixed on the door like something's about to come through. That's not irrational behavior. That's your cat reacting to something real. Cats can detect frequencies up to 64,000 Hz. Humans cut out at around 20,000. That means your cat is picking up on sounds that simply don't register in your world. A pipe shifting behind a wall. A raccoon moving through the yard 2 rooms away. The refrigerator compressor switching on in the kitchen. You slept straight through all of it. Your cat didn't. And here's what makes this genuinely interesting. When they detect something, they don't just freeze in place and listen from the floor. They instinctively move toward the safest elevated position in the room. At night, that position is you. You're the highest, warmest, most familiar surface around. So when something catches their attention, their instinct isn't to bolt and hide. It's to climb on top of you and assess the situation from there. A study published in the journal Animal Cognition found that cats can tell the difference between familiar and unfamiliar sounds even while in a resting state. They are never fully switched off. Even when they appear completely passed out next to you, part of their brain is still actively scanning the environment. 4. Your body is their personal heater. Why does your cat always end up on the warmest part of your body? Not beside you, not near you, but directly on top of you, in the very spot generating the most heat. This one is pure biology. A cat's resting body temperature sits between 38 and 39 degrees Celsius, which is a few degrees above yours. That means they lose body heat faster, particularly at night when the house cools down and there's no sunlight available to absorb. So they go searching for the next best option, and that option is you. But here's what most people don't pick up on. They're not just flopping down anywhere, they're actually scanning for the warmest zone. That's why you'll feel them walk slowly across your legs, pause on your stomach, move up to your chest, and then finally settle. That whole sequence that feels completely random is actually a thermal map. They're stepping across different areas of your body, comparing temperatures through the pads of their paws until they land on the hottest spot. This is also why cats tend to favor your chest or your lap over your legs or feet. Your core produces the most heat, and your cat worked that out a long time ago. You'll also notice this behavior intensifies in winter. Not because your cat suddenly has stronger feelings for you in December, but because the temperature gap between the room and their body grows wider, and you become even more valuable as a heat source. 5. They're trying to wake you up on purpose. Ever notice how sometimes your cat doesn't just walk across you and lie down? They walk across you, then park themselves on your face, then purr right into your ear, then bat at your hand until you physically have no choice but to acknowledge them. That's not affection, that's a coordinated effort. Cats are crepuscular, meaning their bodies are naturally wired to be most active at dawn and dusk. So while you're in the deepest part of your sleep around 5 a.m., your cat is hitting their biological peak. They're alert, full of energy, and they have an agenda. And that agenda usually falls into one of two categories. The first is food. Cats have remarkably accurate internal clocks. If you feed them around the same time each morning, they don't need an alarm. Their body tells them when breakfast is approaching, and they'll start the campaign early just to be certain you don't forget. A study from the University of Zurich found that cats can anticipate feeding times with striking accuracy, sometimes within a 15-minute window. So when your cat starts walking on you at 5:45 and breakfast usually happens at 6, that's not coincidence. That's deliberate planning. The second is boredom. If your cat hasn't burned through enough energy during the day, all that unused fuel kicks in right around the time you're trying to get your best sleep. So they do exactly what any intelligent, understimulated animal would do. They go and bother the one creature in the house who can actually fix the problem. And here's the mistake most owners make. If you get up and feed them or play with them every time they do this, you're not resolving the issue. You're conditioning them to repeat it. They figure out very quickly that walking on your face at 5 a.m. delivers results. And once that connection is made, good luck breaking it. 6. They're needing because you feel like mom. Remember at the start when I said there's a deeper reason your cat keeps choosing you as their landing spot at 3 a.m.? Something that traces all the way back to when they were a kitten? This is that moment. If your cat walks across you and then begins that slow, rhythmic pressing motion with their paws, pushing in and out like they're working through dough, that behavior has a name. Cat owners call it making biscuits. But what it actually represents might be the most emotionally significant thing your cat ever does around you. When kittens are born, they knead against their mother's belly to help stimulate milk flow. It's one of the very first behaviors they ever learn. And that instinct doesn't disappear, it stays with them for the rest of their lives. So when your adult cat climbs on top of you in the middle of the night and starts kneading your chest or your stomach, their brain is replaying the closest thing they have to an early memory. And the reason they're doing it specifically on you is because in that moment, your warmth, your breathing, your heartbeat, it all feels like the safest place they have ever known. To them, you feel like home.